Welcome to Aliub Dunks. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Konstantinos. Welcome, everybody. And exciting times around 21 on the corner. And we have some amazing games coming up. We have um, the big Spanish derby, Real Barcelona, both with 73 wins. The tie on the first place, actually on the second Real and fourth Barcelona. We have another great derby, the Serbian one, Cervena Zvezda against Partizan. Also
A-
very important for the chase to a playoff spot.
And if you remember, sorry to interrupt, Bill, if you remember the first game in Partizan's home court, it was decided by a three-pointer from Nemanja Nedovic after a Vildoza assist almost at the last moment. It was like a buzzer beater, but it was a great game to watch. So we believe it will be another amazing game
Yeah,
from
buzzer
these two
beater
great
from the
teams.
corner. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was crazy. Um, and then we have also, since we're talking about the race to the playoffs, we have FS going into Basconia. And there are many strange things happen here. FS losing to Bayern in the previous game that I think many wouldn't expect that to happen. It was a big upset, especially in Istanbul. So FS need the win. They are desperate for a win now. And also Baskonia suddenly Henry seems to be out of the team. We are not sure what's happening, but there were rumors that he's injured, but then probably that he's also out of the team. So that would be a very interesting game as well. But yeah, that's my picks actually for this round. But on our fantasy world, should Constantinos go to the coach's suggestions for this round?
Yeah, let's start for the suggestions for round 21. And let's begin with the coaches, as Bill said. So, the first suggestion we have, the first coach that we have from the top tier market, as we always start, is Georgios Baratzokas from Olympiacos. Bill, do you want to add something?
No, I think Maccabi is actually having a tough time playing away from home. Although um, they are a great team at home, but also they have the problem with
Yeah, the
you
injury
know.
from Lorenzo Brown. It
w-
was on the last game. I think he twisted his ankle. Something. They said Maccabi said it was 3 to 4 weeks that he will miss probably. Lorenzo Brown, a big loss from Maccabi, but also an opportunity from Baldwin that he stepped in for Maccabi. But if you see, Olympiacos had a big win versus Real Madrid. It was a big, big game that we had for round 20 and achieved a big win, as you see. Also versus Virtus, away again, another win for Olympiacos. So after the loss from Monaco, they are trying to build another strike of wins. Uh, as you see, after Maccabi, they lost in Israel, but they have four. No, one game versus Alba they won. Then they lost versus FS, but two big wins versus Virtus and Fenerbahce. But now it's a good time for Olympiacos to start building a winning streak and maybe remain on top of Euroleague. That remains to be seen.
So I think I know what you were asking me at the start about Barzokas. Yeah, it's an inside joke for us.
Yeah,
Wherever we try to suggest him, it seems like we're having an awful result. Everything breaks, so we're very hesitant to suggest him. But this game it seems um, like a given. I can't see for them really a way to lose that one, especially with Slukas Vezenkov playing healthy.
and to add, Bill, I don't believe we will have a worst round than the previous one, but this remains to be seen. But yeah, so let's see. Uh, Maybe things will. turn in our favor in the this time. But yeah, that's our first suggestion for the coaches is Coach Barzokas. Also from the top tier market, we have Coach Itudis from Fenerbahce with 8.7 credits. Yeah, Coach Barzokas has 9.4. But now we see Fenerbahce after the loss from Zalgiris in round 17. They have three wins back to back to back versus Panathinaikos, Bayern, and Monaco. So we see that Fenerbahce steadily is trying to build again and winning streak that they had at the beginning of Euroleague. So maybe after a series of bad results and some tough losses for Fenerbahce, maybe it's time to turn the page and just start building on the positive results that they have in the previous three rounds,
And
as we see.
I wanted to add they had these five losses and they've dropped in the standings. And you see they do three wins and suddenly they're third place, but they tie with 13 wins and seven losses. So Olympiacos, Real, and Barcelona. So if they win, they'll definitely um, uh, they're staying in the top three because Real or Barcelona will drop a position after that.
Yep, yep. So this, as Bill says, this shows how unpredictable and how close all the teams are together.
Um,
So a result, a win and a defeat of another team can completely change the standings after a round
yeah.
for EuroLeague.
So should we go to the mid market then?
Yeah. So from the mid market, we have with 6.3 credits, Coach Obradovic from Monaco. So we see that they had a big loss versus Crvena Zvezda in Serbia, and then a loss also versus Fenerbahce again, as we see away in Istanbul. But they are back at home court and they play versus Armani. Armani has not shown that they have a chemistry. They don't have the character this year. It's not a good year for Armani in general. So I think even Coach Messina said that. Coach Messina said that, it's not our year. So it's not the year for Armani, and Monaco has shown very good results at home. So we think and we believe it's time for Monaco to get back to wins.
Yeah, they had a loss versus Armani, as you see on the first round, but that was also playing away from home. And also, I wanted to add, yes, as you said, Armani is playing really bad. So in the last game with Asvel Villeurbanne, it was like they gave up at the point.
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, not a good performance in general for Messina's team this year.
That's true. It's not their year, unfortunately. But this is for our mid-market suggestions, and then if we move to the deep value, then the first suggestion is Alex Mumbrú from Valencia with 5.7 credits.
Hmm.
As we see here, after a series of bad results from around 16 and 17, then Valencia changed the page again and the pace, and they have three straight wins versus FS, Asphalt, and Partizan,
And tough wins.
and tough wins. Yeah, so
Uh,
Valencia also had some through these games. I think they miss also Chris Jones, who is arguably one of the best players, if not the best player from Valencia this season. But they had, for example, Dublevic has been amazing, amazing performances. And you see, as we said, they had three wins, and then everything can change. So they play against Alba in Berlin, but I we believe that Valencia has the quality, and we see Chris Jones coming back as well. They have the quality to have another win,
yeah, I
another big
mean,
win.
Yeah, so about Chris Jones, we're never sure though with the problems in his knee, but he seems to put this, in the back and continuing. Hopefully, it's in the past. We'll see.
Yes, we'll see. We will keep you updated, of course, for any latest information we have. And then the other coach, again with 5.7 credits that we suggest is Scariolo, the coach from Virtus. They won versus Panathinaikos. If you see, they had some losses versus Algiris and Olympiacos at their own home, big and bad losses. But if you see before that, they won versus Barcelona and Fenerbahce, which is big wins against top tier teams. If you see,
Mhm.
so now they're playing versus Bayern, uh, away game, but Virtus is very good defensive team, so they have what it takes to, let's say, keep in balance the scoring players from Bayern and just
Just,
overcome and have another victory.
I think Bayern is not just too convincing this year. Um, yeah, even they won against FS in Istanbul, so we'll see if they can pull that off again. They're playing now at home, so it's a tough game, definitely.
It seems that they
We'll
have
see.
some, as Bill said, some sporadic big wins
Yeah.
this year, but they don't have this convincing stability throughout the season compared to last year.
Yeah.
But these are the coaching suggestions for this round that we have. So then, Bill,
Mhm. So
should we? Let's
yeah,
start with Sanders.
let's go with centers. And
Hmm.
our first choice for this round is, of course, Motley. So Motley is coming from back-to-back extremely good games, especially in terms of fantasy. So 41.8 and 27.5. No much to say here. As you can see, 9 rebounds and before that 17 rebounds, double digits in scoring, pretty much doing everything, and also averaging more than 30 minutes. In this game, they have also the numbers because Asvel pretty much has two centers only. So we won't think there will be a problem with fouls either for Motley, and probably is a game where he can continue his streak, hopefully. The next pick in that is Davis. So Davis is back, hopefully. Again, it seems like he's back because as you can see before the game versus Asvel, he was on almost single digits, 3 games when things didn't go very well for him. But again, he scored 26 points, 31 fantasy points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal in 32 minutes. Now with Monaco, hopefully he can repeat that. As you can see in the first round, he scored almost 20, so 18 plus the bonus of the win with 14 points and actually 4 assists. So let's see if he can repeat that on a tough game against Monaco in Monaco. Now in the mid market, then anything below 11. Um, we have firstly Mote Yunus. So Mote Yunus just 9.4 credits. As you can see, the last 2 games he gave single fantasy points. But if we take a look and we scroll down, we can see that he's a very fair player. So if we exclude this minus here on the third and fourth round, you can see that on most games he's actually able to produce double digits. Um, so for that reason, we think he will have an actual good game. You can see last time in Italy he managed to get 14 fantasy points. Then we have Hunter, that he's coming from a great game, 18 points, 8 rebounds. And I have to say, this year, Hunter has has put in his arsenal the 3-pointer. And actually, we've seen systems drawn by Coach Trinchieri for Hunter to actually stretch out and take the three, and he's successful. So, and if you think about his age and his accomplishment, is great that he keeps progressing and improving himself. Um,
He's
so there.
he's sorry to interrupt, Bill, but throughout this year, he is shown his veteran leadership within this team. Bayern is not, as we said, it's not very stable team, this year. But Hunter on the other side, he's shown this stability that it needs, from a player throughout the
Mhm.
season.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, and as you can see from 16 onwards, he had four really good games, with the exception of the match versus Fenerbahce. Um, Now, if I move to the deep value market, and that means anything below 8 credits, um, there is one player that stands out, and that's Place. So the game versus Baskonia probably is a good chance for him to have some more minutes and maybe um, change even the way that Baskonia is defending. So, players like Enoch, for example, or Kotsar probably cannot guard so well out in the three-pointer when plays occasionally goes. So maybe that will need Costello playing on the center position. Who knows? So there is a potential there, especially if he grabs the rebounds to have another double-digit game. As you can see, there is a streak of 3 double-digit games. So he's playing better plays, and of course, there is no question about his quality. Then finally, on this deep value market, we have two more players. One is, in my opinion, quite a surprise, and that's Tyus. Not because we don't know his quality, but fantasy-wise, you can see Tyus 17, 22 versus Berlin, 15.4 versus Armani. Um, he has been playing quite well for Asvel. Of course, due to his age, sometimes he need to be rested, maybe some small injuries. But when he's there, you can see in the last 3 games, TJ Parker actually accept his leadership and his experience, and you see the minutes, and he's actually getting more minutes than Yusapafol. So for that reason, there is a chance for another good game. So that would be the fourth in a row, more than 15 credits for him. 15, sorry, fantasy points. Credits is just 7.2, right? Um, then, lastly, we have Beirutis. So that's a little bit of risk in this case, but of course, we're talking only about 6.4 credits. He's playing versus Panathinaikos, and there is a chance that Gudaitis is not available. So if he's not available, then that means he will also have more time, more playing time as well. Maybe easier for him to, get away with playing more physical. But we see. I think Konstantinos, you want to say something about this?
Yeah, as you said, the latest information is that Gutaitis did not participate in the training, Panathinaikos training. So tomorrow there will be another update. But so far, the indications are that maybe Gudaitis is off for that game. That means that Papagiannis will be the only sender for Panathinaikos. So as you see, Beirutis, both Lithuanian players. As you see versus Fenerbahce, he had 29.7 for round fantasy points for round 17. So it will be another big opportunity for Beirutis to have another big game.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, for 6.4 credits, you can afford to, make that bet,
Yeah.
a risky bet. So that concludes the center. So I'm passing back to you, Konstantinos, for the alley dunk on forwards.
Yes. So let's see from the top tier market again. So did you miss Vejankov?
He is back.
Think some of you miss Vezankov. So he is back. He is back after you see he had two good games back to back versus Virtus and versus Real Madrid. So now it's time that he's back. You see, 33 minutes versus Virtus, 26 versus Real Madrid. That means that he put the injury behind,
Thanks.
and
Yeah.
he's looking forward to the game versus Maccabi, which is a big opportunity for Veznakov to be back in the high fantasy points game. So with 18.20 credits, here's our first suggestion. Then we move to 12.6 credits. So Derek Williams is another suggestion versus Zalgiris. If you remember on the first round, he had an amazing game. What a game! 33 fantasy points with 25 points scored, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. So, you know, Panathinaikos playing at home court. Uh, and if you see, if you scroll a bit up again, yeah. So if you see the last two games are very good games for Derek Williams with 25.3 fantasy points and 17 versus Virtus. So why not keeping these two good games and make it three? So for round 21, Derek Williams is the another option we have. And then to conclude from the top tier market, why not add some bacon to that um, suggestion? So bacon from Panathinaikos again. So if you see the top tier, actually the top tier options are only from Greek teams, from what I see, from Olympiacos and Panathinaikos. So Vezankov, Derek Williams, and then Dwayne Bacon. So he's a top scorer from Euroleague, right? With
Yeah.
20.3 points. He did not have the best of games versus Virtus, but that's because Virtus is very good defensive team. We say that in our previous shows, but at home court Bacon can have another big game, as you see versus Maccabi 20.9 versus Fenerbahce 21 fantasy points. So it's a big chance that we see another of these amazing games. As you see versus Algeres, he had 14.3 fantasy points, but he scored 19 points. He grabbed 8 rebounds. So at home court, there's another opportunity for Dwayne Bacon to show again his scoring abilities and have another big game. So these are the three choices from top tier market and from mid market. On the first, um, oh, you go first with Hayes Davis. Okay, let's start with Hayes Davis then. With 9.9 credits, Hayes Davis, as you see, 3 games versus Panathinaikos, 33 fantasy points. Versus Bayern, 14.3. And versus Monaco, 16.5. I mean, Hayes Davis is back, as you see on the good performances. Um, like if you see versus Bayern, he scored only 4 points, but he had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. He contributes in every area for Fenerbahce and he gets the minutes. You see versus Panathinaikos 44, 27 versus Bayern, and then 39 versus Monaco. So maybe that's where you see Fenerbahce climbing, getting the wins and climbing in standings because Hayes Davis is back and performing on the court. So with 9.9 credits, Hayes Davis is mid-market choice, but then with 10.9, you see Edgaras Ulanovas. I mean, what can I say? like after around even around 17, you see double digit, like 9.9 versus Fenerbahce, but then 18.7, 17.6, 18.7 again. And he's having, I mean, if you see from round 13 that I see until round 20, he's scoring double digits in points and grabbing minimum. Yes, you see two rebounds versus Crvena Zvezda, but then you see minimum four rebounds per game, which is, contributing in every aspect on the court. And I have to give credits to Coach Max Vitis that he can draw a plan and he's putting Ulanovas on the right spot on the right time. That's how Ulanovas is one of our suggestions. And
I
versus
wanted
Panathinaikos, yeah,
to add, sorry to interrupt you,
yeah,
Konstantinos. I
no
wanted to
worries.
add on that. There was a tweet recently, and also I've seen Euroleague has retweeted that showing us who are the class scorers. So points scored in the last 5 minutes or overtime in close games. So up to 5 points difference. And there, Ulanovas is number one in points per actually try. So he has 1.41 points, and that's 31 total points in 22 possessions. So 141 points per possession in this last minutes in close games, and that's the highest from all EuroLeague players. If we see that points per possession, so in the last 5 minutes, Ulanovas is number one.
That's leadership and veteran presence on a team.
He had a great two 3 pointers on the last game that actually helped him on these statistics as well.
That's true. That's
Mm.
true. Yeah.
Cool.
So these are the mid-market suggestions, and let's move to the deep value. So with 7.8 credits, our first choice is Akili Polonara. He's in a new team. After a phase, he moved to Zalgiris, and you see that he's already starting to get adjusted and build a good momentum with Zalgiris. Um, three blocks, as you see, 14, only 14 minutes he played. He did not play like 20 minutes, but he managed to get 10 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and 15.6 um, fantasy points. So versus Panathinaikos is a big opportunity for Polonar to have another big game and contribute and have this presence and veteran leadership with Ulanovas after the big loss of Keenan Evans for Zalgiris.
Also, they have injuries issues on the paint on the number four position. So Polonara may take more playing time because of that as well.
Yeah, Cavano is out for at least another 3 months. So yeah, Polonara is there to get more minutes and getting better and better for Zalgiris.
And also, I think Taylor is not playing.
Yes,
Um,
for the let's say replacement of Keenan Evans at the guard position. Yes,
yeah.
he injured. Unfortunately, he injured, and he will miss some time, several weeks.
Mm.
I believe I read he will miss several weeks with injury. Unfortunately, it's from one side, as I said, Zalgiris has shown this character as a team this year, and despite all these bad injuries, still stays, within, a win or two wins away from being on top of EuroLeague. This shows the work from coach Max Vitis. On the other hand, we really would like to see how far this team, if healthy, would go. To be honest, with all the players they had, Keenan Evans.
So for that
Uh,
reason,
so for that reason, we have another player from Zalgiris. That's Butkevicius. Uh, what can I say? This player is Zalgiris is a team that always have newcomers for EuroLeague and they stand out. So Butkevicius is another type of player, as you see, versus Crvena Zvezda, 16.5 fantasy points with 7 points scored, 7 rebounds. It's you see some amazing performances after round 16.
Mhm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and also he
And
can get rebounds, as you can see. So,
yeah, so he is the forward that scoring, but also grabbing rebounds and contributes in other areas. As you see, also 1.2 steal and
mm.
1.2 assists. So Butkevicius with 7.7 credits is another option that we have. And last but not least, the thing
Mhm.
is yeah, the 6.4 credits. Giffey is another option. As you see, he had a bad game, yes, versus Fenerbahce with -3, but then versus Panathinaikos 12.1, versus Baskonia 15.4, and versus FS 14.3. So, and he is having also a EuroLeague experience, of course, with Alba. So versus Virtus, I think Bayern will need his three-pointer skill. So the scoring ability from the perimeter, and he gets the minutes for sure from Coach Trinchieri. So with 6.4 credits, is a good choice to fill your team for the forward positions.
All right. So with this, I will move on to the guards, and here we have plenty of options for the top rank market. So, and actually, we had to eliminate many that we think that will do well from these expensive players. But I will start with Misic. He had a bad game versus Bayern. He had, you can see, 15 points scored, but then just one rebound, just two assists, and he missed 10 shots. So in 34 minutes of playing, just three fantasy points. This is his worst return the whole year. So last time he had a single digit game, he returned from 9.9 versus Olympiacos with 34.1. And now this game versus Baskonia, as we said at the start, is very crucial for FS. So in the crucial games, we know that Misic puts on his MVP hat and goes for it. So um, let's see if he can bounce back. That's our first choice then, Misic. And then on this market, we have James just below him, as you can see, the second most expensive player. Um, he had back-to-back bangers, great games. So you see with this 23, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists versus Fener. So with this kind of games also away from home, there is a high chance versus Armani that we see that they are not doing so well recently, that James can go big. And also James is an ex Armani player, right? So maybe one more reason why he would want to go very well.
And he didn't live with the best terms when he left from Armani.
Definitely not. Then another option here. Brown cannot be because he's injured, unfortunately. But then we have Slukas. So you see, the three most expensive players are actually the three choices we're going with. And Slukas had, you see, a couple of games with single digits. But if we scroll down, that's the only single digits returns on fantasy he had the whole year. We think it's time for him against Maccabi with Brown being injured to have another double digit and actually a very explosive game. He doesn't need much time. As you can see, between 20 around 25 minutes should be enough for Lucas to organize the game, score some points. He's very efficient and provide very good fantasy returns. Finally, as I said, we had to eliminate quite many players here just because we don't want to give so many options in the expensive market, but we have one more, and that is on the second page, and that is Baldwin. Um, as I said, Brown is out, so Baldwin needs to step up, and we can see here he had 21 points versus Panathinaikos. That was though Brown playing with him. But then on the next game, he didn't have the help of Brown due to the injury. Um, so we had 33 points, 6 assists, and in 28 minutes of playing, and
He took over the game.
38.5 fantasy points. So how can you exclude him when he needs to be now the running machine for Maccabi? So yeah, it's a difficult game, but again, this is another player playing against an ex team, Olympiacos, and we'll see how Baldwin will do. But it seems like he's red hot at this period.
And again, he didn't live with good terms from Olympiacos. So James and Baldwin have this in common versus their previous teams.
Correct. And then we're going to the mid market. And there, I would say our options um, are not so many, but definitely there is one player that has been playing well lately, and that's Winston for Bayern. He played well also in the German league. So in the German league, on the just some days ago, he um, had a good game. I can't find his
I
stats.
I think he had
Yeah, 16 points. I
16.
just
Yeah,
found it. Yeah, 16 points with 6 out of 8 2 pointers, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and he had a um, PIR of 16. So, and as you can see, also in the latest 3 games, he's been scoring well. And he's dishing some assists, so hopefully with Virtus he can keep that, and is a very valuable choice with just 8.9 credits. Then we are going to try something new, a player that hasn't yet uh, tried in Euroleague this year, and that's Bost. So he is a new acquire from a new signing from Asvel, Villerban, and he already had a good game in the French league. So um, we think that he will take the minutes and can probably produce something similar. He had 18 points in the last game, 4 assists and 2 rebounds in the French league. Sorry. So potentially we see something more from him here as well.
and don't forget that D Bost is playing with De Colo, so he has this partner at the perimeter. This star, this veteran, quality veteran. We all know De Colo, how good he can be. So it's another good opportunity for D Boss to have his own space and time to have and to create and score on the court.
Yeah, I mean, he's not young. He's 33 years old, if I'm correct, but still, it's a different level. Um, Now on to the D value market. Here we don't really have many solutions this time, and actually there is only one name for us that really stand out, and that's Puerto. You can see the last 3 games he stepped up. He's given with Partizan 13.2 fantasy, with FS 23.1. And if we think all this happens just with 5.1, then why not? If you need a player to close your roster 5.1 credits is actually a very good deal. And if we think he started with 4, so whoever got him after the 17 round, he has a 1.1 benefit on credit. So that's Puerto, and I think that concludes all our solutions for this round, Constantinos.
Yep. These are the choices that we suggest for this round. So should we go and see our teams?
Yeah,
However, if you have any child close to your screen, please just let them
to,
play in a corner or somewhere else because you
to,
don't want to see what we did. Yeah, that's
let's
dangerous.
have the violins play now. It's like
Yeah,
Titanic
this
sinking.
yeah, this is like sometimes you cannot express things with words, so not
Yeah,
even 70 round points.
that
Yeah,
that is.
that's um that's a nightmare.
What can I say? Ataman
So
losing. Um, but Dobrich, Misic, combined they gave less than Snyder. Um,
this is
Tavares 8 is
yeah,
disaster.
it's yeah, it's clearly a disaster.
Yeah, it's our
Uh,
worst round ever. Um, as long as I can remember.
it's yeah, it's
Okay.
what it is. Yeah, it's what it is. We cried enough. Now we can move to round 21. Hopefully we score 70 in this round. Hopefully, yeah. But let's see the changes that we made. So we brought coach Obradovic, Sas Obradovic from Monaco instead of Ataman, who is having a big game versus Basconia in Spain. In addition, Tavares, Real is playing versus Barcelona. It's a derby. You never know. It's unpredictable. These games are unpredictable. So Motley is on a very good form. They're playing versus Asphalt, so we decided that Motley needs to be back on the team. We kept Tulanovas because you saw he's in a very good form and he's producing. Same with Snyder with 4.2 credits. If you still have him on your team, why not keep him? He's giving you points, but on the guard position, we just wanted to bring big names. So Mike James, we had to give Dobrich, but we had the credit, so we spent it on Mike James, a game versus Armani. Hopefully, he gives us double digit fantasy points. We kept Vildoza, and as you see, uh, and Pander as well. Lesort we kept, and then we brought Baldwin. We believe Will Baldwin will have a very big game versus Olympiacos. He would be the main guard for Maccabi. That means that he will be on the court for a long period of time, and he will have the ball on his hands to decide whatever he wants to do for Maccabi. Also, we kept Lazarevic and Luncis just to fill the team. Lazarevic is getting playing time, so he can probably contribute more than Lutzis. But this is our team. Um, Now, as I said, we cannot go with less than 68, sorry, point two fantasy points. Yeah, you see, it's like it's the effect of the screen of what I saw on the screen. But uh, we believe that this team will go and just have the most points that we can have. Let's
If
say.
if Saso Bradovic loses from Armani at home, are we going to demonstrate or something?
Well, if this happens, then you will. on our next episode, we will tell you about the curse that is following us since the beginning of the EuroLeague. So we will tell you about what is causing this, but honestly, cannot go worse than the previous round. Honestly, I mean, but in all seriousness, we believe that this team has what it takes to, having an amazing round. To
And
be
to be
honest.
honest, I think many people had a bad round with Brown getting injured. So yeah, it's
I
not just us that we didn't have him. I think many people actually had this kind of pump.
and actually, now that you said this, to add, it's not only Brown that he got injured. Also, Misic had a bad game. So two of the main guards for
And Clyburn had a
most of us, and
bad
Clyburn,
fantasy
yeah,
game. Yeah.
true. So it three of the options of the most common options to have in your team if you want to
Yeah.
have a big names in your team. So they had bad games. So yeah,
Okay. So I guess we can move on to our second team, our affiliate team, our deep value, um, our G League team,
the G
and
League team was better than this team the round, Bill. Just to let you know.
yeah, because we are getting the players ready for the main team, right? So when um, so you can see 125 points, so nothing great. Losing even capitals, so not good that not that either. Not good that either. However, Coach Cariolo 10 points. Petrusev was okay with 17. Sedekerski's very good game, 23. Hayes Davis, always quality, 16.5. And then Clyburn, the absolute Titanic there with just 8 points. We have, though, Captain James providing 24 points and promoted to Aliop Tanks, our main team. And then unfortunately, we had Brown with the injury, as we just talked about it. Kuric and Mahmutoglu, all of them with negative. And then Pradilla actually gave us 9.9 points from the bench, quite good result. So on this round, we um, actually, from what I see, Konstantinos, we have the same codes
Yeah.
that we have in the other team as well. I'm just wondering whether we need to change that. And I'm saying that because we never have the same players on the same team. So as you,
Yeah. I
yeah,
think for the players we have the rule, but for the coach we can have the same coach
okay,
in both teams.
okay. So yeah, as we said, from the deep value market on the head codes, we have also the with 6 point, we have up to 6.9. So we also have the ability, if we want, to change with Alex Mubru or with Scariolo. So we will see that maybe will be one of our moves. But on the player side of things, we had to give, of course, Brown as he's injured, and we brought Larkin just to, bet on his form, getting back and getting on Munster games, hopefully. James, as I said, has been promoted to the main team, so Wilbekin, after 25 fantasy points and 21 points, 5 assists versus Monaco, he hopefully keeps that streak and have another explosive game. And then we had Adams leaving for Jones, Chris Jones also with as the captain. Hopefully he has a big game at Berlin. And as we can see last time, the play versus Berlin, Valencia, he managed to have 30 fantasy points. Um, so we hope for a little bit of the same again. Of course, we kept Hayes Davis, Pradilla, Clyburn, Petrusev, and Sedekerskis, and then we had to keep Kuric and Mahmutoglu because we don't have any more available trades for us. But all in all, it seems it seems okay and ready for the next round.
Yeah, and we kept, as you said, we kept Clyburn. We will see about the coach. If we change the coach, then we'll see.
Uh,
Uh, but these are our teams. Hopefully, it will be a good run for both teams, and of course, we will let you know for any latest update on our Twitter for the players, their availability, and last moment injuries and absences. Please leave a comment below with your suggestions, and feel free also to ask your questions about which player we prefer from your two or three choices. Uh,
yeah, and
yeah,
subscribe to our channel for more. We actually did a video for MVP ladder. It's quite long video, but with the second part is about MVP ladder, and it will be interesting to know your choices for the MVP ladder. I'm not gonna spoil it. So thank you all for watching, and speak to you next time.
yeah. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.